Oh, how's it going? One of my friends suggested it'd be really cool if Sociable, when it's in the sidebar panel, was able to interact more with the web page. Specifically, it could like explain what you're looking at and do things like that. So, made a demo. We're gonna show how it works. Then I'll go look into the code. Okay, let's do this. So, open up a website here. Doesn't really matter which one you go to. You can select text, right click on it, and you get these new options that show up: explain, critique, set context, auto update. So let's start with explain. Boom. Look at that. Google is saying that the US government, led by blah, 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 forces something about Chrome. Awesome. Now let's critique it. Okay. Uh, the context is wrong because it implies Google is the one making the claim. I don't know. I'm not getting into like what the prompt does, but you can see it's all connected now. All right. The other fun one is we can go click on this. Let's get a whole article. Let's just big old chunk right here, right? And we'll say set context. All right. So now the context has been set over here. They're like, what is this talking about? Boom. So any context you set, that's what's going to use to answer any questions that you discuss or raise over in that side. All right. Uh, for funsies, you can turn on the little talk feature. Let's not do that. We don't want it like, we
It
don't want
seems
to jump
like you're
over.
excited about
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay. So now we got this guy going over here talking, right? I can go and select some text here, right? And say explain.
Google is talking to government regulators, including the Department of Justice DOJ, about a case. Google thinks the regulators' ideas are bad and will hurt the US economy and national security.
Haven't you always wanted the web to talk back to you? So now you can do that. We can also interact with it on a mic with the mic, right? Uh, do you think Google is right or wrong?
It's difficult to say without more information, but I can provide some insights. Google's argument that breaking up the company or limiting its investments could harm national security and user security is a valid concern. If Google is no longer able to invest in updates and security measures for its products, such as Chrome and Android, it's possible that these products could be.
All right, cool. Um, Lastly, made it so that right here you can say sociable and say auto context enabled. Check that. See, enabled. What that means is um, when I'm moving around the web, you'll see over here it updates. That means that it's sunk over to this guy, the new page that I'm looking at, right? And then it will automatically update the context so that when I ask questions, it's about the page that I'm currently looking at.
This conversation is actually not about the provided context, but rather about a different topic mentioned in the Prev story link at the.
All right. Let's see. What is the context about?
The context is about the TV show Andor and its upcoming second season. Specifically, it's about a featurette that was released, which provides a behind the scenes look at the making of the show and hints at a major tragic event in the Star Wars canon.
Oh my, Star Wars canon. I haven't seen season one, so. All right. Now let's go see what this thing actually does. So, okay, cancel. We don't need to be in there. We want to jump over into the code. So, click on that guy to open up this page, to click on the edit page, and boom, we are in the edit page. All right, I'm going to hide this panel. Let's get more view. Okay, so in conversation start, sets up the data. Okay, awesome. That makes sense. Nothing magic. All right, key one here, menu update. Menu update sets up the menu. These little functions, they're all different exported functions that are showing up throughout this code. So critique is here, right? It gets two special parameters, session ID, selection text. The session ID is really important when it's trying to go back to the client and retrieve the current web page because Mr. Web could be being used inside of a group chat. And in a group chat situation, multiple people could be updating the page that it's currently looking at. And you want to make sure that when someone right clicks, it's pulling the correct page context, the correct HTML for giving people feedback, right? So session ID is what links that up. Selection text, you need to make sure that you say equal null here, because none, because it's not always sent, right? So if I right click, not on selected text, just on the page, you're just going to get this function call. Okay. Then we go and get the context, which is the helper function I wrote. It's pretty simple. If there is selection text, use it. If not, go get the page context, the HTML, and then convert it into text using one of the built-in Python libraries. You can see explain, critique. They're pretty similar, right? Just modify the question using kind of standard prompt engineering here to like shove in the context and ask a simple question. All right. You could change these to be funny or whatever. I use Llama. You could use any model. Doesn't really matter. This is basic LMs. Okay. The only one mildly interesting, if you go down here to message direct, you can see it's actually shoves the context into the instruction. Right. So you can see context is put here, and then the messages are put into the messages section. Right. Send as markdown. So that's all pretty stock. Uh, I'll put the source code in the doc page, so and reference and add a link to this YouTube video so you can check it out. Awesome. Enjoy.